So this interview right here next is real special because I've been practicing behind the scenes of how to say his name. Y'all done gave me some homework. Ujauna.
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah, man. I'm treating myself to something after I get done with this show. Because I said his name right. I know it's supposed to be if you don't curse, but I said his name right. So I passed the test.
Okay, yeah.
So you're here, man. Couple of things, man, like that we want to talk with you about. But man, first thing, man, the name, man. Like before we go anywhere else, the meaning behind the name and just, man, like, because that seems like that's something, number one, that's unique and it's just so cultural oriented. So I want you to, talk to us about your name, man. Like, what's the origins of your name and everything?
Yeah, my name is Swahili, and it means smart in Swahili. My middle name is Kenwata. So Kenwata means boy. So my whole name is Ujauna Kenwata. So all together it means smart boy. Ujauna means smart, and Kenwata means boy. My father always said that he wanted one of his kids to have a African name. So that's how I ended up getting the names and stuff like that. Because my father said he always wanted one of his kids to have a African name, and since I was his only boy, so I ended up getting the African name. And it's funny, my name was supposed to be Dante Kiwan. My name was supposed to be Dante Kiwan. And then my daddy went on that, and then I ended up getting this name.
That's cold though. I like that though. He kind of took it back to the roots. You feel me? Yeah, you one of those type of names.
My
that's
daddy
cool.
broke down the whole history of my name, told me where it came from and everything.
That's cold though, because just like I was telling some of the other guests that we had today, like when they was explaining their names, like it's kind of good to have a unique name and like a name that has some type of meaning to it, like because you can invoke that. You feel me? You can tell that to people. Like that's how you build connections with people, and like you get that familiarity and stuff like that, and then you kind of, you feel me? You build that bond with people. I like that though. I like that. So let's start talking about this book though, because when you first came in here and you showed me the book, it caught me off guard because I was looking and I'm like, man, what is this about? You feel me? Just off the book, like it'll make you interested because like it's a good cover. So like, just talk to us about this book though. It's called the Black Wolf of Chicago story.
Well, basically, the Black Wolf of Chicago is a vigilante story about Chicago. I always felt growing up as a kid and to now that Chicago never had no superhero. Like New York had the Ninja Turtles, Metropolis had Superman. This place, seems like everybody just forgot about Chicago. We here in the city, and I felt like, don't Chicago deserve a superhero? Everybody else got one. You got the Flash here, you got this here. Every time a movie or a cartoon or a TV show come up, everybody forget about Chicago. Why? They don't think we deserve a superhero. So something happened on 79th and X's one night. I don't know what happened, but I know the next day I came up with this idea of this character, Dewan Mitchell. And as I'm starting to write the profile of this character, the story I started to write, and then that's how this all came about. So everything that you ever read about Chicago, from the sex trafficking to the carjacking to the little drill beats, from the language and everything, is all written in the book. What I did, I created this character, the Black Wolf, to come in and diffuse everything. You know what I'm saying? And I want a lot of people in our city to gravitate to our own hero, because this hero here actually represents Chicago. Everything is written in this book, from the language to the streets to how we do things, is written in this book. This is an authentic Chicago book. And I'm authentic Chicagoan. I grew up on the west side. I'm from there, moved to the south side. So everything that deal with this book is Chicago.
I don't mean to cut you out, but it's something about my co-host when we have people from out west. He just get excited, like he just like, you see his energy. As soon as you said the West pulled me, he just, I know about that. Like it's just, he love out west. I understand it though, because I love over east like that. You feel me? But it's just something about when we bring people from out west, he just get a different type of energy.
I'm trying not to. I really am. I'm trying not to. I talked with two West Side people earlier this morning, And man, it is, man. I can't hide it, man. I guess it's just, man, you know, even though it was only 10 years that I lived out west, it still is something that, you know, I don't want to, I guess, erase from my memory. I think about, like, honestly, had I stayed, you know what I'm saying, the high school I would have been going to, and just like a lot of different things, man. And so, yeah, man, I do get excited about my fellow West Siders. 290. I get excited when I hear 290.
I'm born and raised on the west side, Lotus and Congress. I went to Louis Armstrong. From Louis Armstrong, I went to Michelle Clark. From Michelle Clark, I went to Mars. From Mars, I went to Austin.
Now, you know, we recognized something just recently. Somebody brought this point up to me is, you notice how when you mention where you were from,
Yeah.
you didn't say like 63rd and State. You know, and how it's different. Like, I don't think people ever really recognize that when it's out west, you say the street names versus, the numbers.
Yeah.
You know, and just recently people are recognizing out west, like, you really got to know your street names.
Yeah, you really do.
Because if you don't,
you're going to get lost.
You're going to get lost.
You don't want to be it.
All right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, I was saying to somebody the other day, I just started rattling off different things. And it was like, so, what's Kedzie number-wise? And what's Madison number-wise? It was like, Madison is 4,800.
Yeah.
And it was like, Kedzie is 3,200. It's like, how do you know that? And I was like, man, because I stayed out west. Huh? You know, I still go back. You know what I'm saying? Ain't like
it was a different environment for me when I went outside. When I moved over east, it's like 83rd and this. I'm like, man, I gotta figure this stuff out. I'm getting people the wrong directions to take me home. I like, bro, I'm new to this. I'm just not now getting used to the South Side, like knowing where to go, and I still really don't know where all the way to go at on the South Side. But I'm getting, I take my black ass back on the West Side.
Right, so I don't think we could do an interview without doing this, man.
Okay.
You've been out south now, man. Have you ever had heroes, and have you ever had Uncle Remus? And, you know, I don't think we can do this interview. It always comes up in an interview.
And you know, I'm a die-hard West Sider, so you know what I'm about to say. Uncle Remus. I eat Uncle Remus cold. I eat it every day.
Now,
Man,
you know,
I might get tired of chicken, but soon as Uncle Remus come up, I'm on it. Cold, hot, warm. I even make fried out the sandwich, man. That's how good it is. Like, you just gotta lick it in.
Come on, man.
Brian, you gotta take me out there one day. I still ain't never had no Uncle Remus. I still ain't had it. So I can't even really say who's better because I never had Uncle Remus before. So
You don't know what you're missing, man.
But everybody that tell me about Uncle Remus though, they say it's a certain one you gotta go to though, like the original one.
The original one is out west.
Yeah.
The one that's over here on 43rd and Cottage Grove. I actually had somebody that told me while it's owned by the same people, the recipe, something about it is just not 100% the same. So I think you got to do the first one, the original location, so you can have a blueprint for when you come to the South Side. You be like, oh well, the sauce ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? And what's up? The sauce got a little more pinch or something.
Pre-warning, you finna do this. You finna do that. If you're not used to doing that, you finna do that, bro. Oh, you don't want Uncle Remus every week when you first get it. Every day.
Oh man, well I'm gonna be out there, man. Shout out 290, man. Shout out Uncle Remus, man. I'm gonna slide out there and see what y'all talking about.
You definitely gotta slide out there.
All right, so the book is available where for people to get it
It's
to?
available on Amazon and Kindle. We just went international the other day, so they're reading it in Japan now. And it's also Chicago Comics on 3244 North Clark, and it's also at Garham Cracker Comics on Madison and State.
Now, another thing that you're part of, man, and I'm really excited about getting into this is, man, you're the co-owner of Mike Entertainment, man.
Yes.
So talk to us about what Mike Entertainment is, everything that's under Mike Entertainment, and for those that want to be a part of Mike Entertainment after they hear what you mentioned, how do they do that?
Well, Mike Entertainment stands for Masters of Imagination and Creation Entertainment. So therefore, we trying to market anything that got to do with entertainment, from acting, music, anything with entertainment, that's what Mike Entertainment is about. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, this book is the first catalyst of Mike Entertainment, and it's the home of the Black Wolf of Chicago. So if anybody want to get in touch with us, you can hashtag Mike Entertainment on Instagram. You can get us right directly on Instagram.
That's what's up, man. So, man, some success stories up under Mike Entertainment. Some things we should know as far as success stories, maybe that you work with this person and made this happen.
Right now, we in partnership with the Regal Theater. We're working with them. Then we working with Revolt TV. That too, because we're trying to pitch the story of the book as a live action miniseries.
Oh, wow, that's dope.
Yeah. So we'll have our first live miniseries for Chicago. So I'm also in the process getting ready to shoot a trailer for the show. So you'll have a live visual of the trailer plus the costume and everything that goes with it. You will actually have a live visual of the trailer.
So, just before we get up out of here, man, I just want to know, like, what was your thought process? Like, I understand that you wanted the city to have somebody to look up to, and you wanted the city to have, like, some type of figure. You feel me? That's why you came up with it. But, like, what really made you be like, okay, I want to sit down and write a book about it, though? Because, you know, like, it takes a lot to sit there and write a book, though. It's not easy just to write no book. So, like, what really made you want to sit down and be like, okay, this is what I want to do with my character. I want to make a book out of it.
Well, I always hear stories, like, stuff would just pop in my head, and I can just develop a story right now. Y'all can give me a word or give me a topic, and in 2 or 3 days, I have a whole story from the beginning to ending, waiting right there within 2 or 3 days. So when I write, I think about it, and I come up with a name. A name will pop up. So when the name pop up, I figure out what I want to go with the name. So like the other day, a name called Road Rage popped in my head, and I'm thinking, why is this word keep popping in my head? And like 2 or 3 days later, I hit a whole story about road rage. And then I was like, I used to watch a movie called The Legions. Are you familiar with the movie called The Legions? And then I'm like, man, I'd like to do something like that. Then next thing you know, a phrase popped in my head, the War of Heaven. Then 2, 3, 4 days later, I come up with the whole storyline about that and everything. When it comes to the process of me writing up a story, it takes a name. So when I wrote this story, like I said before, that something happened on 79th and Exits. I don't know what happened that day on 79th and Exits, but I know the next day, the name, Dewan Mitchell is the lead character of the story. It's the alter ego of the Black Wolf in that story, popped up in my head, and I'm thinking about why this character popped up in my head, and the next thing I know, I just started writing. I started writing. Then I was like, how can I take this story? Then I thought about it. I was like, why don't I put every element of Chicago into this story to make it authentic? So that's what I did. So I did it with the sex trafficking. Sex trafficking was big at one point in time in Chicago. They got written in. So the next thing was the carjacking. I wrote the carjacking in there. So the little beef with Chief Keef and Lil JoJo, I got that written in there, but it's everything is all under a different name and stuff like that. So when I wrote it, I wanted the book to be like a die-hard Chicago book that a Chicago person, when they pick up, they can read it and relate to it. Because I'm using a slang, I'm using the language we talk, I'm putting in different streets and different places that you might see and run into out south and over east. So when you read the book, you probably walk past 70, 76, and you're like, damn, oops. I remember reading this into the book. Mm-hmm. And then it's going to start click, and stuff like that. So that's what got me to write the book. And I always wanted, like I said before, as a kid, I always wanted to see Chicago with a superhero. We never had nothing. And I wasn't expecting this book to turn out to be the way it is, because when I first decided to write it, it was just supposed to have been a story. But when I started telling people about it, they was like, man, bro, you need to go and need to go in and put it out. We ain't never seen nothing like that.
Exactly.
So that's how it became now.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I ain't gonna lie. I really resonate with that because when I was in a tough spot, it made me sit down and write a book. You feel me? Like I got my own book that I got. I ain't really put no pressure behind it, but I definitely like this though. I definitely like this, and I like the whole setup of how you got it too though. I really mess with that. But I ain't gonna lie. Just before we go though, just get the people your social medias and stuff like that so they can get in tune with you and tell them where they could go find a book again.
Okay. You can get in tune with us at hashtag Mike Entertainment on Instagram. If you want to contact me personally, you can go to me at hashtag Skinny the Man at Instagram. We on Facebook, the Black Wolf of Chicago Facebook page. Then we on TikTok, Black Wolf of Chicago TikTok. We on YouTube, the Black Wolf of Chicago YouTube. Then we got a clubhouse, the Black Wolf of Chicago Clubhouse that's about to launch soon too.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I ain't gonna lie. We had a good day today, man. I talked to a lot of great artists, a lot of great people in my city, man. But just tune in with us next week, man. Next Saturday, we're gonna do our thing again. It's Fusion Radio with Brian Stinson and YTS Keys.